Just kind of surreal. You know, a lot of people have heard me during the campaign talk about the fact that about 28 years ago I met a gentleman at a restaurant up in the northern part of the county, and during our conversation, I was very young. I'm 21, 22 years old. He walked out of the restaurant, and he walked back in, and he pointed at me, and he told me, he said, "You're going to be sheriff of Spartanburg County one day." And, you know, he planted a seed, and a seed that has grown in me for years. You know, this is a prime example for all the young people that are out there listening right now. I want them to understand, never, ever, ever give up on your dreams. This was a dream that got put in me, and I had to be patient, and everything's aligned perfectly for me at this point in time. And you know, it's kind of unreal right now. It's hard to believe how things have taken place. We're really, really excited about the future. You know, have a great plan in place. There's great men and women down at the sheriff's office that have been doing a tremendous job, and they're just looking for that servant leadership to come in and work with them and you know, give them what they need to be able to be successful. And that's my plan long term.
One of our interviews, whenever Justin interviewed you, you spoke a lot about transparency, but you said transparency is just a word until you really kind of prove it.
So you put it in action.
Yes. So what do you say to people here in Spartanburg County who have really, you know, gone through a lot here recently? What do you say to them about what you are going to do as soon as you get in office, as soon as you start in office?
Right, that's a wonderful question, and what I said to Justin that time is transparency is just a word until you put it into action, and they're going to see action right out of the gate. You know, we're going to go into that office with a plan to ensure that people know what's taking place within that office. You know, I've talked about it time and time again. We're going to have our budget on the website so people can see the line items quarterly, so they know exactly where their money's going, what's being spent. We're also going to be releasing reports, yearly reports, basically like audit reports, the good, the bad, and where we need to improve, and we're going to have an improvement plan built into that with other goals that we're going to have built into that. So people are going to be able to see, we're going to get in the community. We're coming back into the community very, very quick. And anything that's brought to my attention that needs to be looked at, that needs to be investigated, we're going to investigate that fully, because one of my promises, one of my campaign promises was to ensure that I rebuilt trust in the badge. And that's going to be right out of the gate. I want people to understand they can trust their law enforcement, they can trust the sheriff's office, but what they have to trust more than anything is the sheriff. And I want them to understand that they're going to be able to trust me. They're going to have an open door to come to me, talk to me, explain the things that they're concerned about, and I'm going to be prepared to answer those questions for them when they come.
What will day one look like? Whenever you sit down at that desk for the first time, what is the first thing that you're going to do?
Hey, that's a hard question to ask, because it's really not day one. It's day one, day two, day three, day four. And, you know, once I get my staff completely put together, I apologize, get my staff put together, I've always talked about collective leadership, because we're better together than we're better as one. And it doesn't need to be just my decisions. It needs to be a collective leadership style of moving forward, and for the officers to understand and see that we're working together. We're not working against them in any way, shape, or form. So I want to make sure that we have those plans in place. Obviously, day one's going to be a busy day just getting in there. We have to start that process of re-swearing everybody in again. So there's a lot of, you know, administrative stuff that's going to take place in those first couple of days, but we're going to hit the ground running without question. The nice thing is it'll be unopposed in November. Hopefully I'm going to have an opportunity to get into the office and already start kind of getting some plans set and some plans in place prior to taking office.
And final question, you just spoke a lot about your faith and how that really has played a role in your entire career up until now. Talk about that a little bit more and why that's so important to you.
Well, I mean, when you look at my life and you look what I've been through and where you know, I've always had to turn to my faith, and it's an incredible story. You know, when this campaign started, and I said many, many different times that win, lose, or draw, I was completely at peace with where this happened and where we landed. And I know people can say that, well, it's easy to say that now when you're where you're at, but there's many people that can, you know, tell you that they heard me say that. You know, I gave my testimony on the struggles I went through in life about a year and a half ago at Fire Pit Ranch. They'd asked me to come around Thanksgiving, and I spoke in December. When I started this campaign, my testimony had been viewed less than 100 times. As of tonight, my testimony has been viewed over 3,900 times. So if I was merely given this platform for people to see my testimony and it to affect their eternal life, then that means the world to me. Irregardless, that means way more to me than being elected sheriff, because that's the most important thing, those relationships that they have with Christ. And, you know, that's something I'm always going to stand on, because I know without him, I would not be here, and I'm always going to stand on that.
Would you like to say anything else to the voters here in Spartanburg County?
I want to thank the voters. You know, they came out 2 weeks ago, almost 26,000 came out. I think this is probably unprecedented to see 24,000 people come out in a runoff election for us to be where we're at right now. But what I specifically want to do is tell the guys and the women out there right now, if you're thinking about a career in law enforcement, you're thinking about getting into law enforcement, you're in college, you don't know, you've been worried about the things you're hearing, come be part of something special. The rebuild starts right now. Come to the sheriff's office, come and apply. Don't wait till November. Get in the queue now and start the process so you're already there. We're going to change Spartanburg County. We're going to change it quick, and I'd love for you to come be a part of it.
I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.